Raising mentally strong kids requires 7 core conversations which apply to all kids, including young adults and those struggling with ADHD, anxiety, depression, or even autism. Let's start with core conversation. Number 1, brain health is foundational to mental strength. When your brain works right, you work right. This applies to kids and adults of all ages. At Amen Clinics, we've been using a brain imaging study called SPECT that looks at blood flow and activity for the last 33 years to assess and treat our patients, including kids and teenagers. We've looked at over 250,000 scans on patients from 155 countries. The scans taught us that most psychiatric illnesses are not mental health issues at all, but rather they are brain health issues that steal people's minds. And this one idea changes everything. Get your brain healthy and your mind will follow. Here is a healthy SPECT scan compared to scans of young people affected by head trauma, infections, marijuana, and alcohol. The brain is an organ, just like your heart is an organ. If you want your children to be mentally strong, if you want them to be responsible, confident, happy, kind, and resilient, if you want them to make good decisions and be focused and motivated and have great relationships, it starts by talking to them about having a healthy brain. You cannot parent your way out of a child's troubled brain. But there is advanced technology now to understand and help their brains. Brain first. Whenever you are struggling or your children are struggling, think about understanding and optimizing the brain. Brain health is based on 3 primary strategies. They are so simple, even young kids can understand them. 1, love your brain. It makes you who you are. 2, avoid anything that hurts it. And 3, engage in regular brain healthy habits. Starting the brain health conversation is easy with kids. Make a game of it. Ever since our daughter Chloe was 2, she and I played a game we called Chloe's Game. I would say something and ask her, is this good for your brain or bad for it? For example, if I said avocados, she'd say 2 thumbs up, God's butter. If I said blueberries, she'd put her hands on her hips and ask me if they were organic. Non-organic blueberries hold more pesticides than almost any other fruit. If I said, of course they're organic, she'd say 2 thumbs up, God's candy. If I say, hitting a soccer ball with your head, she'd say, thumbs down, no way, or talking back to your red-headed mother. Oh, that's not good at all. Way too much stress. None of this is hard. When Chloe was in 2nd grade, I went to her classroom and wrote 20 things on the board and asked the kids to separate which ones were good for the brain or bad for it. The only thing they missed was fruit juice, which they put in the healthy category. Sorry, way too much sugar. From childhood all the way into your mid-20s, the brain is undergoing wild development. Think of brain development as a vibrant city under construction. The roads are being laid down, buildings reach for the sky, and the infrastructure is being connected. Kids hate supervision, but they hate it more if you don't do it because they think you don't care about them. Some things that are bad for the brain that might not be so obvious include digital addictions and excessive screen time because they wear out the brain's pleasure centers and increase the risk of depression and ADHD. Young people are relying more on social media as their primary source of human connection, and they're relying less and less on themselves and their families. 95% of young people use at least one social media platform, and more than a third of them use social media almost constantly. Tech companies use the same strategy that casinos use to addict unsuspecting youngsters who start to crave more time on the free programs. If you aren't paying for a product, then you are the product. Self-absorbed kids are unhappy kids. Children who spend more than 3 hours a day on social media have twice the risk of anxiety and depression. And on average today, kids are spending 3.5 hours a day on these platforms. If you want mentally strong kids, delay giving them cell phones, social media, and video games for as long as possible, and it is critical to supervise their use. Exercise is a critical brain health habit, especially coordination exercises, which stimulate the cerebellum in the back bottom part of the brain. The cerebellum has more than half of the brain's neurons, and it is important because it's connected to all other parts of the brain. Exercises like tennis, table tennis, pickleball, or dancing are great for brain development. Of course, if you drink while you are dancing or play beer pong, it completely ruins the benefits. I also recommend all of my patients, no matter what their age, take multiple vitamins, omega-3 fatty acids, and probiotics for gut health. My favorite supplement, the one I take every day besides these and give to my kids, is saffron, as it has been found to help mood, memory, and focus.